New York Beauty XOXO. I'm in my kitchen. There's a fan coming out of my head. Wait, watch. There's a fan coming out of my head. It's a fan coming out of my head. It's a fan coming out of my head. My head. I'm trying to get some light. It's 11:11 New York time. It's Thursday night. I look wretched. I've been up since 5 with my dogs. And I have to be at camp by 8 tomorrow morning. So before I take my makeup off, I'm just going to film a quick video. I was watching some really fun videos about Mac experiences, and I love Mac, don't get me wrong. And I've been to Mac a dozen or more times over the span of going to the Mac store, Mac counters at Macy's, and different stores and stuff like that. So I've had many experiences at Mac. I've bought online, but there's a couple that stand out. Couple that were good, a couple that were and a couple that were pretty bad. So I figured I would just add this video to the mix of all the Mac experiences. One of the first times I went there, the girls, they give you the once over, like really, like, you're coming up here. And I just let that go. Like, that's not even considered an experience. But they do that. And I don't know if that's just a girl thing or maybe because their makeup is on fleek that they're looking at everyone else like, really? Um, but one experience I had at the Mac store, I went in there to get color matched, and I remember I walked up to the counter. I'd already had something in my hand that I wanted to buy because at the Mac store, you have access to the products. The counters at Macy's, like, you have to ask for them. So anyway, I had something in my hand that I was going to purchase, and as I was like asking her to ring it, I was kind of questioning her, like, do you think NC, like they've been telling me? Now I was like a new Mac customer at that point, so as she's like looking down, I'm just kind of chatting her up. I'm like, you know, I kind of gave her the I'm Italian, but I'm not olive, and I'm definitely don't think I'm pink, but I was told I'm more like yellow, and I don't know if that still considers NC. Anyway, while she's ringing me up, and she's just ignoring me. She's not making eye contact. She wasn't like she was pretending like I wasn't talking to her. So she finally, like, at the end of the transaction, I hand her the money, and she looks up at me and she's like, "I get it. You're yellow." And I'm just like, okay, like, I guess I am. I don't know. Like, that's what I was asking you. MINC, NW, like, whatever. So that was one experience, which I thought was weird. I just walked away at that point. I didn't even know what to say. I was like, okay, thanks. I went to bring back my. Oh, that's my dog. I went to bring back my 5 or 6 empties to get like a back to Mac. And when I do that, I always like to purchase something. That's my disclaimer. I don't just go up there and interrupt someone busy to be like, yeah, give me my free lipstick. Like, I always purchase something or ask for something. Just not that I can't just go back with my 5 or 6 empties, but I feel funny, so I like to make sure that I have something that I'm going to purchase, like whether it's like a thing of wipes or whatever. So I first asked for whatever I needed, and then I said, "Oh, by the way, I also have these like 6 empties." And one of them was a makeup pump. I had bought it at a CCO, and I had MAC foundation, and I was never able to use it. It never worked. I just figured I got like a broken one. So, she saw it in there and she was like, "Oh, a makeup pump." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like, it never worked." Um, I'm like, I don't know if it is broken, but, it's in there. And I didn't know if she was going to like look at it for me, or I didn't know if it was like part of like an empties. So I just said, "So what do you think?" And then she just took it out of the empties, threw it in her garbage, and said, "Well, if it's broken, you don't need it, do you?" And threw it in the garbage and didn't consider it one of the empties. I'm glad that I had like an extra empty to add towards it to make it the full like 6 that you need. Um, Anywho, so that was it. I got my free thing and I moved on. And then another time I went to buy something at the Mac store, which I did have a good experience with this makeup artist. She was very sweet. And I told her, I said, she was asking about, like, I had bought a foundation, and then I said I'd like a pump. I said, but I'm very weary because I bought one and I told her my experience. I said, I did return it, but then they didn't take it as a back to MAC. And she goes, did she take the pump out of your bag and try to work it? And I said, no, no, she never even offered. I said, I thought she might. And she said, did she take the safety off? Did she show you how to work it and take the safety off? And I said, no. I said, what safety? And she said, there's a safety on it. She said, first there's a lid. You take that off, and then there's a safety. You just move it to the side, and then the pump will work. She said, I have a feeling you didn't know to move it to the side. Most people don't. I mean, some do, but most people don't, and then we have to tell them, and then that works. And I said, no. I said, I bet it wasn't broken. It just, I never knew to turn it to the side and use that. And she said, I have a feeling that's what it was. And she just threw it out in front of you, didn't even give it back, and that was the case. So that was my experience. Um, so I really think that if she would have told me that, um, you know, I would have gotten the pump to work. But she just threw it in the garbage right in front of me, and I wasn't going to be like, take that back out of the garbage. So she said that that was really rude of her to do, and that she just didn't want to be bothered. But she probably knew, because 9 times out of 10 people were constantly returning pumps. So, I just thought that was pretty crappy to do to someone. And that was one of my experiences, one of 2 experiences at MAC that I didn't really appreciate. For the most part, the girls are a little snooty, but yeah, I just thought that was obnoxious about the whole pump thing, because if she knew going in she gets like 100 customers a day saying, how do you figure out this pump? She should have just been nice enough and did it. But anyway, so that was my MAC experience. Not the worst ever. I've heard a lot worse, but one of my MAC experiences. So anyway, I hope you like this rant video, and keep on watching. I'm going to do an empty soon. I have like a ton of products that are almost gone, and I keep baking and I keep forgetting to do my baked goods videos, but I'm going to try to remember that. And that's about it. So have a great day. Bye.